TU Pune. She has done many courses such as certified courses in counseling from Yashada Pune, course in food and nutrition, certificate course in enhancing relationships for positive mental health from Janana Prabodhini's Institute of Psychology, rational emotive behavior therapy from Institute of Psychological Health, Maharashtra government certified trainer in entrepreneurship development. She has direct training skills, design of training mentoring certificate course, in charge principal of law college for 5 years, working experience as law and management faculty since 2001. She has also done a course in mediation from IIAM. Sorry for the interruption. She is an accredited mediator and has judged international and national mediation competition. Training fields body language, emotional intelligence, compliance of Food Factory Law Act, compliance of POSH, mediation at workplace, and many more. We are grateful, ma'am, that you have come here and you will be guiding us on this POCSO guidelines. Now over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Now, on behalf of our group, once again, I request to Vidyulata ma'am, please guide us.
Thank you, Ajay sir. Thank you, Rohini ma'am. And good evening, namaste everybody. All right, I'm going to cover this session in 3 parts. So first part would be about, in nutshell, about the POCSO Act 2012. And then I'm going to cover the recent Supreme Court judgment, because that is very important. Of course, the amendment that took place in the year 2019. And then the third part of the session would have the MCQs. I hope it's clear to everybody. So first would be a nutshell, amendment, recent Supreme Court judgment, and the MCQs. So with your permission, should we start? Dear participants, should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm expecting this to be an, let's take it as an interactive session. So whenever I say, please post your message in chat box, it will help me to understand that we are on the same track. So do you all agree with this? Please say yes if you agree with this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So without wasting any time, let's start. And just tell me if you are able to see the PPTs. Are you all able to see the PPTs?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we are going to talk about the protection of children from sexual offences, that is a POCSO Act 2012. Now, this act defines the child below 18, both girls and boys. So this is a gender neutral act. It covers both boys and girls. It addresses a wide range of sexual offences, including anything from complete and partial penetration, non-penetrative sexual assault, showing pornography of children, stalking a child, and exhibition of a child. This law protects children from contact and non-contact sexual abuse. It introduced child-friendly measures and made the role of the police a child protector. It does not recognize consensual sexual acts among children or between an adult and a child. This is very important. So here, to explain, like, first of all, this is a gender neutral. Second, it tells us about all various offenses, like penetration, non-penetrative also, and even merely showing pornography, etc. So this act has provided the measures which are child friendly, and it has put the role of the police in a child protector position. Now, this act does not recognize consensual sexual acts amongst children. So, if a child and adult is engaged into a sexual relationship, even if with consent, it won't recognize that. And very important is the act represents the importance of mandatory reporting of a sexual offenses. So whosoever, now who will report and how it is, to whom it has been reported and all, we'll see in the upcoming slides. I hope we are on the same page. Now, CSA, that is child sexual abuse, is a form of child abuse when a person uses a child for his or her sexual gratification. It is usually committed by a person in a position of authority or power, and sometimes in a position of trust. Now, what is this position of an authority or power? Means somebody who is like teacher or auto driver or something, who has the power over the child, or when it's in a position of trust. It could be like your uncle, or in some cases even father. All right. So mother, yes, since I said that this is a gender neutral act, but these cases are seen less. So position of trust here means the child has trust upon some relationships. So it will come into some relations like uncle, maternal uncle, or neighbor, and that trust has been broken. The person upon whom the child trusts has sexually abused the child. The nature of abuse implies a relation between the individual, which makes it easier for a person to take advantage of child's helplessness and vulnerability. Now, here, children and women are considered to be vulnerable group, and therefore special laws are made for them. Now, what is happening is, like very small children, like age 2, 3, 5, probably they are not in a position to understand as to what is happening to them. So, they are really very innocent, and they are not into understanding as to, so they are not able to express, they are not able to tell to the parents as to what is happening to them. So, this advantage has been taken by the offender, and that vulnerability is used. Child sexual abuse can be visual, physical, or verbal. It violates the child's body and trust, which is against law. Now, if you could have seen last 1 month, there are so many incidences coming. We have one incident from Badlapur. Akshay Shinde was encountered, and he was in a school where he sexually exploited children. Then we have seen latest example from one of the police station, and still yet I don't know about this school's name. So all these things are kept hidden. Nobody likes to come into a limelight and all. So, but then this is what is happening is these cases don't come forward. So, this advantage, or rather I would say disadvantage, is taken by the offender. And victims, first of all, they are not able to say or express themselves. That is what is happening to them. Second, even if it is known to others, it's mostly, the authoritative people, or school authorities, or even at times parents, they won't report these cases. So this is what has been seen. And therefore, these cases are most of the time suppressed. And that has been the disadvantage taken by the offender. But these cases are on increase, and it impacts the child like anything. It impacts the child on a psychological level, physiological level, and also in future, it might change their sexual behavioral patterns. So psychological impacts, it may include the fear of people, or nightmares, or eating disorders, sleeping disorders, or their academic performance may come down, or they are, anxious, anxiety, hyperactive, sometimes, clinging behavior, daydreaming. So they are not mindful. They get, that withdrawn symptoms are being seen in these children. So there is indifference behavior, disassociation, regressive behaviors, bedwetting, thumb sucking, and lack of trust in self and others. So these are the psychological impact which the child sexual abuse may have on the child. And it is seen in some cases that it's not limited to that particular age, but even if when they grow up, they tend to show this behavior. People who have experienced this child sexual abuse in childhood are not able to trust themselves or others, and also their sexual life may not be that healthy as the person who have not underwent this sexual abuse. To extreme, it can even lead to suicide. Now, coming to the physical impact, it can cause pregnancy if the child is, a girl child uh, who has got her periods, tearing the anal area or vaginal, repeated urinary infection, sexually transmitted diseases, and psychosomatic illness. So psychosomatic, I mean, like many illnesses are, it's seen that if psychologically you're disturbed, it impacts your body as well. So they get that bodily impact. Social impact may be withdrawal symptoms, overly pleasing behavior, increased hostility, aggression, and drastic academic performance changes. So if the child is doing well, he may start scoring less in academics. So sexual abuse in childhood can lead to visible and drastic changes in sexual conduct and mannerisms. The trauma of sexual child abuse can create sexual identity confusion or anxiety. And it can even, a child can face this even in future. So these are some of the physiological, psychological, and social impact of child sexual abuse. So let's first understand the key features of this act, saying here that this is what is the impact, and we all know that how important it is to prevent the child sexual abuse. Do you all any doubts so far? Any doubts so far? So can anybody quickly chat in the chat box how the child sexual abuse can impact the child? Or can anybody unmute and tell me which are the 3 areas on which the child sexual abuse can impact the child?
Ma'am, it will be physical, mental, even for educational, behavioral, change of behavioral pattern, etc.
Exactly. All right, fine. So let's move forward. Let's quickly understand as to the key features of the POCSO Act. It is gender neutral. Offender is presumed guilty, and the burden of proof is on the offender to prove his innocence. Special courts for speedy trial, but then there are many lax cases or pending in the courts. Even if the special courts are meant for these trials, for the speedy trial, there are many cases which are pending. Child-friendly procedure. So, help of experts are being taken for recording, and it's being made as very child-friendly. Mandatory reporting and recording, and false reporting also has the punishments. So let's elaborate this. What are the, see, I'm going to concentrate more on the punishment, as in 2019, there were drastic, amendments, and some offenses were added and punishment was also enhanced. So let's quickly see first what are the offenses under the POCSO Act. So penetrative sexual assault, aggravated penetrative sexual assault, and aggravated sexual assault. So first criteria, I'm talking about the first column, which is touch-based offenses. So in touch-based offenses, we have penetrative sexual assault, aggravated penetrative sexual assault, and aggravated sexual assault. So any touch with sexual intent without penetration. Got it? And using child for pornographic purposes, and one of the above. Now, non-touch based, that is the second column I'm talking about, that is sexual harassment, using child or pornographic purpose for pornographic purpose, storage for commercial purposes. And other offenses are failure to report, failure to record, false complaint, disclosure of the identity of the child. This is very important. Most often, if the child's name is known, everybody starts posting that and it goes viral. This person has been sexually abused. Or even the recent Calcutta doctor case where the victim was raped and she succumbed to death in that case. I was amazed to see her name on the social media, and I had to tell people that this is offense, disclosing the name of the victim. So it might ruin the future of the child. So one has to be very careful, and these are some of the offenses other than the actual offenses. So after knowing this, touch base, non-touch base, and other offenses, we are going to see the punishment that has been given to it and what are the amendments have to tell. So this is very important, and this might be asked for the exams because 2019 has many recent amendments, and that has enhanced the punishment. Also, it has added more offenses to the offense part. So these are in nutshell, but then I hope we'll see this a bit later. We'll just first understand penetrative sexual assault. The punishment for the offense before the amendment was minimum 7 years of imprisonment, and which may extend to life imprisonment. However, after the amendments, it is now up to 10 years and which may extend to life. Now here, there is one more thing. The minor who is below the age of 16 years shall be punished with the imprisonment, whose minimum punishment would be 20 years and would go up to the life imprisonment with fine. All right. So if the victim is below 16 years, then the offender is punished with minimum 20 years. That enhancement is there. Now we have understood penetrative sexual assault. What is aggravated penetrative sexual assault? Aggravated penetrative sexual assault. It is these acts are gruesome acts that involve a police officer, a member of the armed forces of India, and any other public servant of the government body. When any of these persons commit a sexual offense against a child that is penetrative in nature, it would be termed as aggravated penetrative sexual assault. Now, this is very, very important. 2 grounds were added to aggravated penetrative offenses. Which are those 2 grounds? A sexual assault that results in the death of the child, and second is an assault committed during natural calamity. All right. Here also the punishment is 20 years and it may extend up to the death penalty for the accused. Sexual assault and aggravated sexual assault. By the virtue of this act, the term sexual assault covers the ambit of such actions that include the offender touching the breast, vagina, anus, penis of the child with the intention of sexual assault without penetration. So here it's not, there is no penetration, but it is, touching. However, I would like to note, and this could be you can tell me maybe tomorrow also, or the Bombay High Court has held that touching will not be under POCSO Act, which is of course been overruled. But then that is what is the perception of the judge, that touching the breast of the child would not be into the covered under the ambit of POCSO. So now it says that touching the breast, vagina, anus, and penis of the child with the intention of sexual assault without penetration. This term, aggravated sexual assault, additionally includes cases where the relative of the child is also an offender. It includes such cases where the child receives injuries due to sexual assault. The other aspect that the bill, of course, now this has been amended, An assault committed against the child during the course of natural calamity, two things were added: inserting or administering any sort of hormone or injecting any chemical substance into the child so that the child can attain early sexual maturity. So these two things were added to it. And let's quickly see this in nutshell. So we have penetrative sexual assault, which it was earlier 7 years, now it's 10 years and life imprisonment, fine, yes. Penetrative sexual assault on a child below 16, 20 years. Earlier it was 10. And life imprisonment, remainder of life or death, fine, yes. Aggravated penetrative sexual assault, 20 years, life imprisonment or death. Sexual assault, 3 years, maximum 5 years. Aggravated sexual assault, 5 years, maximum 7 years. All of these offenses are with fine. Using child for pornographic purpose, 5 years, and second offense would have 7 years. Now, this is very important. Dear participants, this is something which we are going to discuss further also. So I would like everybody to pay attention to this particular slide, section 15, 1, 2, and 3, which we are going to discuss further. So storage of pornographic material involving child with intention to share or transmit and failure to delete, destroy, report to prescribed authority. So first offense 5,000 fine and second subsequent offense 10,000 fine. Now 15 clause 2 says storage of or possession of pornographic material in any form involving a child or transmitting or propagating or displaying or distributing in any manner at any time except for the purpose of reporting or for use as evidence in court. Maximum 3 years and it's or for fine. Storage or possession of pornographic material in any form involving a child for commercial purpose, 3 years, and for the first offense, subsequent offense, 5 years. And the maximum is 5 years for the first, and it could go to 7 years for the second offense. So I hope you have understood this well. The punishment which has been enhanced by amendment, right? Any doubt so far? Shall we proceed further?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we proceed further? I want yes from everybody. Shall we proceed further?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So before we proceed further, can anybody tell me what is the maximum punishment given under POCSO Act?
Life or death.
Death, ma'am.
Death penalty? Yes, absolutely right.
Yes,
And
death
imprisonment, what is the maximum?
20 years.
Till
20.
reminder of life. Life
Absolutely
till
right.
reminder.
Okay, can anybody tell me if the victim is below 16 years of age, penetrative sexual assault, so what is the punishment? Imprisonment.
20 years minimum with life
Yes,
reminder.
20 years minimum. 20 years minimum if the victim is below the age of 16 years of age. Yes. So we are good to go ahead. Now this act says that it has strengthened the system. Child Protection Committee should be appointed, and who be the members of the committee? I don't think so that there is Child Protection Committee and the schools are implementing. There may be very few schools who know about this. So awareness is a must, which again the recent judgment has shown the concern for the awareness part also. So members of the Child Protection Committee would be principal head of the institute, senior teacher, caregiver, senior non-teaching staff, 2 senior students, 2 parents, and external members of good standing. All right. Now, these are certain things which needs to be completed within 24 hours. This could also come for the MCQ. Remove the child from imminent danger. Ensure that the safety of the child victim is there. Okay, so he should be removed from the danger. And If a child is at risk or harm, inform the police and remove the child to the safe place. So immediate access should be given. Administer first aid. So this is again a very important. If the child is injured, so he should be taken to the nearest hospital, and after, of course, the parents have arrived. So medical intervention is very important. So child safety, immediate risk should be taken care of. Medical intervention should be there. Informing parents and guardians is very important. We all know about the recent Calcutta judgment. The victims' parents were not told, and even if they were told, they were made, after telling them, they were made to stay out for, I think, 7 or so hours, and they were just waiting outside, and they were not informed anything. So now it's very important to inform the parents or the guardians. All right. The evidence should be preserved. Again, due to lack of evidence, many accused or offenders are set free. So clothing and all should be preserved. Within 24 hours, the management should initiate the inquiry. FIR or complaint should be filed. Now, this is what is a area of concern where school authorities are not willing to file the complaint. The police here, record of child statement by the police is again very important, and that should be done in a very friendly manner, taking into consideration the child's mental health, or he's going under through what, or at times the child is so innocent that he or she is not able to understand what has happened. All right. Now, when we say that it's a mandatory reporting under section 19, what is this? Who must report? Is it that only the school or authorities or parents should report? No. Anyone who has, now again, this is a question for MCQ. I do have drafted some questions for you all, dear participants, but here, as and when we go with the slides, these are the chances where it might come. So, who must report? Knowledge of an incident of child sexual abuse, apprehension of a likelihood child sexual abuse. Now, whom to report to? SGPU or local police, all teaching and non-teaching staff of the EI as well as the management are legally obliged to report. All right, this is very, very important thing. Now, there are also some cases about penalty for the, false cases are being there, and who take care of this. Recently, one case was there where the child had, falsely complained against the cousin brothers. And later on, she admitted the fact that this is a false complaint. And so we have here the provision for, penalty for the false complaint under POCSO Act, right? It's between 6 months to 1 year without fine, with or without fine. Now, these are again very important. Recording a child safety violation. So these are the documents which should be preserved, and records to be maintained when the safety violation incident occurs. Child's complete case file, medical reports, counseling reports, child statement, case report. Everything should be recorded. All right. So now here comes a very important thing which we are going to deal now. And I'm going to take you back to some cases and, of course, the recent judgment. So there are some contradictory statements or judgments. So in one case, as we have seen, that skin to skin will not be in the ambit of POCSO, which has been ruled by one court, whereas Bombay High Court. And of course, that has been, I said, it has been overruled. Now, here we are going to talk about a very important thing. I'm going to tell you about the Madras High Court, and the case is about Harish versus inspector of police, and another. Harish, a resident of door number 2 from Ambatu. He was found to be watching child pornographic films for over 2 years. The computer forensic analysis report revealed 2 video files on Harish's mobile phone depicting underage boys engaged in sexual activity with an adult woman. Now, here in this case, Mr. Harish, he admitted to regularly viewing pornographic during his college days when he was questioned. More than 100 pornographic video files were downloaded and stored in Harish's mobile phone. So, a case was registered against Harish for the offense under Section 67B of the IT and Section 15(1) of the POCSO Act based on the findings. Right? Now, what is the interesting fact here is, firstly, the case was registered only under Section 67B and 14, and later on 15(1) was added. Okay, this is one important aspect of this case. And now, what was the, what did this Mr. Harish said? And so he said that I have just downloaded and I have not used it for any commercial use or so. And it's just that I'm watching it in private. So it is not an offense. I'm not transmitting it. I'm not making it viral, or I'm not using it for the commercial purpose. And so it doesn't come under any offense. So this was what was being held by Harish. And the Madras High Court here, what did Madras High Court said that generation next is porn addicted, and many children, or even if it starts from the childhood, and even if they have attained the adulthood, they continue watching the porn, child porn. So Madras High Court here said that instead of punishing, counseling should be done. They should not be punished. And this judgment was given based on the Kerala High Court judgment, which is same. So here, they said that the FIR and all complaint it was squashed by the Madras High Court, right? By the inherent power which is there with High Court. And they said that this is not an offense and it's okay, and it doesn't fall under the sections. So they emphasized in this Madras High Court, they confined its ruling only to Section 14. All right. And they did not even consider about Section 15 and all. So Madras High Court said that downloading and storing child pornographic videos without transmission or publication does not fall under Section 67B of the IT Act. Right? So they just confined their rulings to 14, and Section 67B was interpreted in this way. All right. Clearly, downloading would not come in the ambit of POCSO Act. This was what was held by Madras High Court. Now, what happened after this? There are some institutes who are, who are concerned about children's rights, and they work on child sexual abuse. So one is Bachpan Bachao Andolan, and there are many such organizations which came together. So basically here, 2 of them, welfare NGOs, took an initiative and they filed a plea. One was Just Rights for Children Alliance of Faridabad, New Delhi based, and the second was Bachpan Bachao Andolan. All right. So here, now we have this case, Just Rights for Children Alliance versus Mr. Harish. It said that Madras High Court's ruling that watching child pornography doesn't fall within the scope of the POCSO Act would be harmful. It would have harmful impact on child welfare. So they said that this would have a harmful impact on a child welfare. And basically the initiative was taken by these 2 NGOs. And here we have this case, Just Rights for Children Audience versus S. Harish, which was, September 2024, when I was told that I'm supposed to take this session. That day itself, this judgment I was going through. I think it was just 24 on 25th, and this has been on 23rd. So here, the Supreme Court having three judges, Chief Justice Chandrachud, Dhananjay Chandrachud, Honorable Chief Justice Dhananjay Chandrachud, Kadriwala, and Mishra. So what did they say? They said that High Court has, I think, Ola with me. Are we on the
Yes,
same
yes.
track, dear participants?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Please,
Yes,
Yes,
please.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay,
Please
okay,
continue.
fine,
We
fine.
are
I hope there is no disturbance because the DJ is going on very loudly here. So I hope you all are, I am audible enough.
yes, we are enjoying your session, ma'am. Please continue. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So now, this judgment, which has been recently, the Supreme Court ruled here that the High Court has been erroneous, or it has erred by not considering section 15(1) of the POCSO and just focusing on section 15. So as I said that we have elaborately seen section 15 clause 1, 2, and 3, right? So amendment, we have recently seen that in the amendment. The 2019 Amendment Act made the storage or possession of the child pornography punishable under section 15 of POCSO, which was in effect when the videos in question were allegedly received. Got it? So merely storing, downloading, or having possession of the pornography, child pornography, would be punishable, which was there in the amendment, 2019 amendment, and which we have already seen in our slides, right? When I said that 15, please be very attentive that time. So here, Madras High Court did not took into consideration section 50. They just concentrated on 40, and they interpreted section 67B of Information Technology Act, saying that it does not come under the purview of section 67B of IT Act. So this was the where High Court ruled, right? Now, the court here further said that the apex court said the burden of proving the absence of culpable mental state is on the accused, according to the provision which penalizes storage or possession of the child pornographic material with intent to share or transmit it. So now, see what the court said. Court said that you have downloaded, you have been watching it for 2 years. Why have you not deleted? And it's, you are in a position, constructive position. You can make changes, you can transmit it, you can do whatever you want to with that, porn. So you have a constructive position of that material, and the burden of proving that you don't have that culpable state of mind is on you, right? And so you have not deleted those. That means you are intending to do something with this material which you have, because you have been storing it for so long. And section 15 says that even storage or possessing of child pornography is punishable. So this, which was held by the apex court in this case, and there were many suggestions which were given by the court. So firstly, they said that, you have to replace the child pornography with child sexually abusive and exploitative material, that is CSAEM. Lower court should refrain from using the term child pornography. The court also cautioned the police and the courts from limiting their inquiry to one of the subsections under section 15. So they said, see, why you have charged, first of all, the case was filed under section 67B of Information Technology, and section 14(1). And then later on, section 15(1) was added. But the court here said, if 15(1) it's not fitting in 15(1), why you did not took into consideration 15(1), 2, 3? So you should not confine your inquiry to only one subsection of section 15. You should always see that if the offense fits into any other subsection of section 50. Social media intermediaries are obligated to report child pornography. Directions for identification, that is problematic sexual behavior, PSB. Now I'll explain this. What is exactly this? Supposing if all of a sudden in the school, child is withdrawing himself. He's been doing very well so far, but suddenly he started withdrawing himself or herself, or he's being aggressive, or he is showing some kind of a sexual behavior, problematic sexual behavior. He's touching his private part, or that private part is injured, So identification, direction for identification must, rehabilitation of victims, and awareness of child pornography. These were the things which the court emphasized upon. And of course, it's a very good judgment that everybody should, read and go through. And it has touched upon many aspects and given a very wider connotation to child sexual abuse, have taken the care of mental state, or we can say the psychological impact on the child. And it has even placed responsibilities on school authorities, police, courts, and also public at large, school authorities. So they have focused more on the awareness part of it. Saying so now, dear participants, can we have the MCQs quick? Last 5 minutes, can we just go through the MCQs? Are you willing to, or should we stop here? As per your
Yes,
wish.
ma'am.
Please, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
So I want that yes from everybody. Only one or two saying yes will not suffice. So if everybody wants me to discuss with the MCQs in last 5 minutes, should I go?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So let's
Yes,
go
ma'am.
ahead with this
Yes, ma'am.
MCQ quickly. And I think you all should unmute yourself and let's see whether you have understood. Oh, sorry, this is the answer which you have. Okay, can you all see the question, please? Can you all see
Not
the
yet.
question?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No,
Not yet.
only
Not yet.
Wait, please. Can you all see now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
third
yes.
question number is going to.
So which of the following directives was issued by Supreme Court in 2024 regarding the role of support persons under the POCSO Act? Now, dear participants, I have drafted the MCQs based on 24 judgment and the amendments of 2019, I think, which we should give more emphasis upon. So options are: all states must frame guidelines for appointing support persons. The role of support persons was abolished. Only NGOs can serve as support persons. Support persons are only necessary in cases of child pornography. So can anybody tell me A, B, C?
Ma'am, I guess option number A.
Any
Yes,
other
ma'am.
answer? Any
Yes,
other
ma'am.
answer?
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am. A. All
Number A,
states
ma'am.
must frame guidelines.
Okay, yes, all states must frame guidelines for appointing support persons. Can we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes,
Please, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, what did the
I want
Supreme
to
Court
interrupt
clarify?
for one few seconds. Vidyulata ma'am.
Yes.
Please. Now, dear friends, when ma'am asks the question, first of all, you tell your name and suggest the answer. So that is
Yes,
good.
that would be really appreciable.
Yes,
Even
yes.
I would know who is talking, right? So please
Yes. You have
name
to introduce
yourself
yourself
tell-
and then give the answer.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So what did the Supreme Court clarify in its 2024 judgment about the need for skin-to-skin contact to prove sexual assault under the POCSO Act?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
My name is Ruby.
yes, ma'am. May I say this?
Yes, please. Your name.
Myself, Advocate Sanjay Gunskar.
Okay.
Here in this option B, ma'am. Skin to skin contact is not necessary to prove the sexual intent in a Supreme Court judgment, State of Maharashtra versus Satish Ragade's case.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else would like
Ma'am,
to
may I
differ
answer?
from this answer?
My
Or
name is
all
Ruby, ma'am. And answer is A for me.
what?
Answer is A. Skin to skin contact is necessary.
No.
Ma'am, my name is Advocate Anuradha Bauge. Answer is B, ma'am.
I request the participants to please read the options very. So all of you agree with which answer, dear participants?
B, I hope.
B option, ma'am.
B.
Everybody? Everybody?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. B option is correct, ma'am. A not correct. B option is correct. B option is correct.
I again request you all to read the
Hello?
options very carefully.
Is that C, ma'am?
Yes. B.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, the first candidate who have given answer, his answer is correct. Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you,
yes.
sir.
So again, I request the participants to please read it very carefully. Okay. Now we come to the next. Which of the following new measures did the 2024 Supreme Court recommended for handling POCSO cases involving minors in consensual relationships? What do you think? Yes? Anybody?
Ma'am, this is Surbhi Shukla, advocate. The answer is D, allowing family mediation to resolve consensual cases.
Hello?
No, dear. Yes.
Ma'am, I'm Advocate Alia. Is that mandatory counseling before prosecution? Second, B.
Correct. Mandatory counseling before prosecution. I think D is the no at all, because the consensual cases, they do not recommend only. Okay, anyways. Which international fund provides assistance to children?
I'm Rajeshri
UNICEF, ma'am.
Paraskar from Nasik, ma'am. UNICEF.
Yes, absolutely right. Can we go in for last three? MCQs?
Yes,
ma'am.
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Please, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what does CSEAM stands for?
Option 3, ma'am. Answer child
Three.
sexual exploitative and
Option 3, ma'am.
abusive material.
Which one? Loudly.
Number 3.
Option number 3, ma'am.
Option number 3. 3 number,
Child
ma'am.
sexual exploitative and
Please tell me
abusive
your
material.
name. Please tell me your name
This-
and then say that option.
Madam, my name
Advocate
is
Surbhi
Advocate
Shukla, ma'am.
Anuradha Bauge. Option number 3.
Okay, child sexual exploitative and abuse material. Absolutely right. Okay, and this is what the Supreme Court said. That is very important, that henceforth, please do not use child pornography. And it has, issued the guidelines that lower courts and everybody should start. And even they recommended the changes in the act itself. Now, in which case it was held that merely watching a child porn is an offense? Can anybody?
Option 2, ma'am.
Just right.
Just right for Children
Now,
Alliance.
before
Two,
going
two.
answer,
Please
you
tell
have
me
to
your
tell
name
your
first.
name.
Please tell me your name. I
Advocate
don't know the
Radha
case.
Chiddarwar.
Ma'am, I'm
Advocate
Rajeshri.
Radha Chiddarwar.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
your answer.
Option 2.
Option 2.
Please say that loudly.
Option 2. Just right for Children Alliance and another versus Harish and other.
Yes. And
Advocate
this is
Radha
the
Chiddarwar.
latest. Yes, this is the latest judgment, September 2024. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. It is two. Second one.
Yes, second one. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, according to the Supreme Court's ruling, what kind of control would qualify as constructive? Okay, let's move to the next. In the 2024 Supreme Court judgment on the age of consent under POCSO Act, what did the court recommend regarding consensual relations between the minors aged 16 to 18?
Hmm.
Ma'am,
Why not
Lodi
observe the
is
options, tell your
I'm
name and
Ra-
then give the answer.
Ma'am, I'm Rajeshri Baraskar. Option number 1, lower the age of the consent of 16.
yes, ma'am. Number one.
Advocate Radha Chiddarwar, madam. Option D. Completely decriminalize.
It's option B, right? Maintain the age of consent at 18, but allow judicial discretion. Okay. What was one of the major concerns highlighted by the Supreme Court in its 2024 judgment regarding the prosecution of consensual relationships under POCSO?
Ma'am, it's Advocate Alia. The need for more severe punishment for sexual offenders. Answer C.
Okay. Any other?
Nahin Yusufzai from Parabhani. Option A, the lack of proper rehabilitation for child offenders.
Okay. Here we end the session and thank you very much. And I hope now the first thing that you all would like to do is the read judgment, recent judgment, right? How many of you have read it? If you
Yes,
have
how
not,
many people
please.
I
did
have
that
read it.
judgment? How
have
many
read it.
people did? Yes.
Okay.
Means
Anyways,
no
thank you so
one
much,
replying
sir.
with confident, so you are not going to read that. I
Thank
think
you
that
so much,
I
madam. I have
understand.
read it. Ma'am.
Okay. Now I really feel very happy to invite such an intellectual, fully studied, and covering all aspects of this POCSO Act within 1 hour. So I'm very much thankful, first of all, and want to say sorry that, dear friends, Vidyulata ma'am is my good friend, and I force her to leave that Garba program. She was a chief guest in one Garba program, and due to my invitation, she cancelled that. So sorry for that, and it's wonderful opportunity to me as well as all the participants to listen you. Dear friends, before going to the formal vote of thanks, let me tell you that we are a classmate, and Vidyulata ma'am is always being an intellectual personality of our classroom. And I always talk with her on lot of subject at the time of my LLM. And from that, right now we discuss the subject and again think that Vidyulata ma'am is as it is when she was in LLM to keep her intellectual in every aspect. So on behalf of me, first of all, I'm thank you very much for your coming and giving a precious time and guide in such a manner that really useful for the student in the examination. So for the formal vote of thanks, I want to invite Surbhi Shukla for this session. Yes, over to you, Survi.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir, and every participant. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks in this session. And first and foremost, I would like to extend my heartiest gratitude to Vidulata ma'am, our esteemed resource person, for sparing the valuable time and leaving the Garba for us. And she's sparing the valuable time to us today on sharing the wealth of knowledge for how there is an impact of Supreme Court judgments in today's world, and it really helps us all for this to know that POCSO Act is really very necessary for each and every girl, each and every child, and it's really very hard for us to maintain the dignity of children's. And your deep insights into legal framework, practical application, and real world experiences have been truly enlightening. We are indeed fortunate to have an opportunity to learn from someone of your caliber, ma'am. I'm sure everyone here has taken away valuable lessons that will serve well in future for every one of us. Once again, on behalf of everyone here participated, I sincerely thank you. And Vidulata ma'am, thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, and valuable contributions to this session. Thank you everyone for your participation and attention. This work will be definitely helpful for your future. Thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, Ajay
Thank
sir.
you, Surbi.
Sir, I could see on the chat box that some people are asking for the PPTs. So I'll give the PPTs to sir, and I think he will. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Once again, thank you, and really sorry that we have
No.
given your valuable time. I know that dear friends, Vidyulata ma'am is so much doing so much if functions in every aspect, in intellectual. Even she is the mother of a one sport champion who is playing cricket very well. So she is versatile character and working in all aspect. So once again, I thank to all the participant as well as Vidyulata ma'am for joining this session and guiding us. So with the
Thank
prior
you so much.
permission of resource
सर
person, yes.
सर मॅडम काही अजून MCQs वगैरे प्रोव्हाइड करू शकतील का?
Yes, I will ask her. मी विचारतो त्यांना, त्यांचा वेळ घेतो मी आणि त्यांनी वेळ दिला तर मी सगळ्या पार्टिसिपंटच्या वतीने परत एकदा विनंती करतो की आपल्याला जेव्हा
सर.
वेळ मिळेल परत आपण मॅडमांना इन्व्हाइट करू आणि परत
सर.
असंच एखादं सेशन ऑर्गनाइज करण्याचा प्रयत्न करू विथ द प्रायर
हो सर,
परमिशन.
आमच्याकडून विनंती करा सर मॅडमला.
Yes, sure. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, ma'am. Thank you.
Happy Navratri, madam.
Same to you. Same to you.